Your heart is the only organ that never gets a day off. It doesn't complain, doesn't demand, doesn't rest. But imagine this. If you worked non-stop, day and night, your entire life, how worn out would you be? Now, what about your heart? We often fear that fasting might weaken the heart, that skipping meals is like forcing the body to suffer. But science is now revealing the opposite. When done properly, fasting doesn't exhaust the heart. It makes it smarter. In this video, I'll take you inside your own chest, where your heart is silently adapting, transforming, every second you go without food. With each passing hour, your body isn't just surviving. It's activating a sophisticated evolutionary process embedded in your genes by millions of years of survival. There's a hidden switch inside heart cells that only turns on when you fast long enough. And once it's activated, your heart becomes not just stronger, but cleaner and more efficient in how it burns fuel. But this video isn't for people chasing quick weight loss tricks. It's for those who want to understand and respect their body at the deepest level. If you've ever wondered, can my heart really handle fasting? Watch to the end, and you'll never look at your heart the same way again. If you're passionate about science, health, and the miraculous resilience of the human body, subscribe to this channel now and watch all the videos, because today's insights could change the way you think about food, healing, and your quiet power. And hey, if you hit the subscribe button, you'll help us get one step closer to our big milestone. Every click counts. Every subscription builds a community of people ready to learn, heal, and grow together. Right after your last bite, your body enters what scientists call the post-absorptive phase, or, in simple terms, that blissful food coma. But don't let the sleepy vibe fool you. Internally, your heart is running like a genius engine freshly refueled and enjoying one of its favorite moments of the day. At this point, glucose and fatty acids from your meal are cruising through your bloodstream like delivery trucks dropping off fresh supplies. Your heart, the VIP client in this biological supply chain, gets first dibs. And it's not picky. A bit of sugar? Lovely. Some fat? Even better. So it powers up using this tasty fuel combo. Imagine your heart as a hybrid luxury car capable of running on gas or electricity. It picks based on what's available. Right after a meal, when fuel is abundant, it goes full throttle. Vital signs, heartbeat, blood pressure, respiration stay as smooth as a jazzy Sunday playlist. Life is good. Now here's the kicker. Even when sugar is available, your heart isn't a sugar addict. In fact, 70–90% of your heart's energy comes from fat, even when there's glucose to spare. In other words, if your heart were a coffee lover, sugar would be the side cookie, fat is the espresso. So don't imagine your heart sighing in relief after a meal, grateful for the carbs. No, it's doing what it always does, burning fat first, using sugar if convenient. It's not lazy, it's strategic. This is the calm before the storm. But stay tuned. Things are about to get interesting when food stops coming in and your body has to flip open its ancestral survival manual. For now, though, your heart is still chillin', elegantly sipping fuel like a gentleman after a fine lunch. About 4 hours after your last meal, your body starts to shift gears. But this isn't an emergency. It's not code red. You're not starving. You're simply switching operating modes smoothly, quietly, efficiently. One of the first things to happen is a drop in insulin. Think of insulin as your warehouse manager overseeing energy storage. But with no more food coming in, there's nothing left to store. So insulin steps back, and the body starts unlocking the storage rooms, releasing what it already has: fat. At this stage, your heart doesn't panic. It doesn't scream for sugar. It doesn't phone in for carb delivery. Instead, it calmly reorganizes the fuel ratio. If it was previously running on 70% fat and 30% glucose, it now just shifts to 80–90% fat. Simple as that. Here's the common myth: that your heart needs sugar to survive. The truth? Not even close. From the moment you were born, your heart has preferred burning fat. Sugar is a backup. Fat is the star of the show. Picture your heart as a smart power plant. When the grid supply of glucose fades, it doesn't shut down. It simply switches to biofuel fatty acids, something it's always known how to handle. No training needed. No emergency drills. It was born ready. And guess what? There's no drop in performance. Your heart keeps beating at its usual rhythm. No racing, no slowing down. You won't even feel the difference unless your mind invents a crisis. While other organs may still be adjusting to the idea of no food, the heart is the wise elder. It's been here before. It remembers the ancestral hunger, the lean winters, the missed hunts. It's designed to thrive in uncertainty. So, skipping breakfast, not a crisis. Your heart just swaps fuels, sticks to its mission, and keeps everything running. It does this quietly, without drama, like a background genius. It maintains your blood pressure, heartbeat, oxygen flow, all while burning fat like a pro. And here's the beauty of it. Once you cross this threshold, you realize hunger isn't as scary as inertia. Your heart doesn't get weaker. It gets leaner, smarter, more efficient. This is the beginning of a transformation. Not to suffer, but to uncover a biological power you never knew you had. When you pass the 12-hour mark without eating, you're no longer just fasting. You're activating a deeply embedded biological program written in your ancestral code. This is no longer temporary. It marks the beginning of a major metabolic shift. At this point, your liver steps in not to process food, but to convert stored fat into ketones. Ketones are your body's premium fuel, light, clean, and efficient. If glucose is charcoal, then ketones are solar power, modern, high-performing, and most importantly, they burn clean without leaving behind oxidative residue. Your body is now entering ketosis, a completely natural state where fat becomes king. Every cell starts switching to this new fuel. And guess which organs become ketones' biggest fans? Your heart and brain, the two hungriest energy consumers in your body. The heart especially loves ketones for one simple reason. They burn cleaner than regular fat, significantly reducing oxidative stress, the cellular exhaust that ages tissues and damages blood vessels. With ketones, your heart not only beats strong, it beats longer, with less internal wear and tear. Meanwhile, your brain begins to sharpen. Studies show that when the brain runs on ketones instead of glucose, neural stability improves, memory sharpens, and anxiety levels drop. In other words, ketones don't make you groggy with hunger, they make you as clear-headed as a monk fresh out of a cave. Think of ketones as biological coffee. No jittery highs, no crash, just a steady, deep clarity. With stable energy, your heart doesn't overwork, and your brain doesn't swing between sugar highs and crashes. Best of all, you don't need supplements, exotic foods, or expensive keto bars. Everything is already inside you. You just need to give your body the time to activate what it was designed to do millions of years ago. If your body were a power plant, ketosis is the off-grid generator. No external inputs, no dependence on the system. When you enter ketosis, your body proves it can keep the lights on even when the world goes dark. From an evolutionary biology lens, ketones are the superpower of early humans. When food was scarce for days, ketones kept them thinking, moving, and making survival decisions. If they needed lattes to function, none of us would be here today. In short, after 12 hours of fasting, you're not getting weaker, you're not starving. You're burning fat cleanly, supporting your heart, renewing cells, and sharpening your mind. This isn't self-punishment. This is biological intelligence. At work, you just forgot it in a world that feeds you too often. By the time you reach 16 hours without food, you're no longer in waiting for food mode. Your body has now fully shifted into energy optimization and full system repair. This isn't prolonged hunger, it's a biological overhaul. At this point, your blood ketone levels peak, like filling your tank with premium fuel ready for an uninterrupted journey. Ketones not only power your brain and heart more efficiently, they also reduce inflammation, lower oxidative stress, and activate protective genes for neurons and cells. This is when one of the most remarkable biological events begins. Autophagy, literally meaning self-eating. Imagine millions of microscopic cleaning robots inside you springing into action. They start sweeping up damaged proteins, broken mitochondria, and accumulated cellular junk, digesting and recycling them into clean raw materials to rebuild new parts of your cells. Most impressively, your heart and brain respond intensely to autophagy. It's not just detox, it's neural rewiring and microvascular repair. Studies show autophagy plays a role in preventing neurodegeneration, enhancing neural plasticity, and strengthening cardiovascular health. In other words, during this 16-24-hour window, you're not just burning fat, you're self-repairing on a molecular level. And here's the kicker. No pills, no labs required. Just time and water. Fasting, done properly, is the free biological spa your ancestors used throughout evolution. When you practice fasting not just once, but repeatedly turning it into a consistent rhythm, something remarkable begins to unfold deep inside. Your heart doesn't just adapt, it rebuilds itself. And it's not some desperate survival tactic. It's a smart biological redesign, becoming leaner, cleaner, and metabolically more efficient. This happens thanks to a quiet chief engineer inside your heart cells, an enzyme called BDH, 1-beta-hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase 1, a molecule science is only now beginning to appreciate fully. BDH1 is like a dual-function optimizer. First, it helps your heart burn ketones more efficiently, extracting maximum energy with minimal waste, critical for an organ that works 24/7 without a break. Second, it helps your heart burn fat better, improving fuel flexibility and reducing metabolic exhaust. One molecule, two jobs, and both make your heart stronger, leaner, and more energy efficient. Think of BDH1 as a silent bioengineer inside every heart cell. It only activates once it detects a consistent pattern. Ah, my human is fasting regularly. Time to optimize. Once activated, it reprograms how your heart processes energy, making it more adaptable to times of scarcity. What's the result? A heart that's metabolically flexible, less clogged by molecular junk, and able to run better on less fuel, like a hybrid engine running upgraded software. Performing better not despite fasting, but because of it. Even more striking? Recent studies show that in patients with heart failure, their hearts triple ketone usage compared to healthy hearts. That's right, the failing heart instinctively reaches for ketones, not sugar, when in trouble. And fasting is the most natural way to generate ketones. So, after prolonged or repeated fasting, you're not just burning fat or cleaning house, you're training your heart to survive and thrive under pressure. Just like your ancestors during long, food-scarce winters, your body once again proves it's not fragile. It's powerful, waiting for you to unlock it. In a series of recent studies on heart failure, patients whose hearts are struggling just to keep beating, scientists made a startling discovery. The failing heart does not cry out for more glucose. There's no biochemical SOS saying, "Send sugar now." Instead, these weakened hearts tripled their uptake of ketones compared to healthy hearts. Ketones. Those clean, efficient fuel molecules produced during prolonged fasting or low-carb diets suddenly became the fuel of choice in a crisis. It's like watching someone drowning at sea, not reaching for sugar but grabbing ketones as if they were the last life raft in a storm. And that changes everything. The heart doesn't just tolerate ketones, it actively chooses them when under metabolic stress. This reveals a forgotten biological truth. Ketones may not be backup fuel, they may be the heart's premium option when it matters most. Fasting, then, isn't starving the heart, it may be delivering the precise kind of energy your heart instinctively reaches for when it's tired, overworked, or under pressure. While fasting offers many biological benefits, it's not for everyone to attempt without proper guidance. If you have any form of heart condition or are taking medications for blood pressure, heart rhythm, or diabetes, you must consult your doctor before trying any type of fasting. Here's why. Fasting changes your hormone levels, blood pressure, insulin, and electrolyte balance, all of which directly impact your heart's function. If you're on medications that lower blood pressure or slow your heart rate, fasting can amplify their effect, leading to dangerously low blood pressure, dizziness, or even fainting. There are also critical warning signs you should never ignore during a fast. Unusually rapid heartbeat, dizziness, lightheadedness, or blurry vision. Cold sweats despite no physical activity. Feeling like you're about to faint. If any of these symptoms appear, stop fasting immediately. Sit down and drink water mixed with electrolytes, specifically salt, potassium, and magnesium. These three minerals are the electrical support crew for your heart. When you fast, your body loses fluids and minerals, and your heart is often the first to feel the imbalance. Remember, fasting isn't about pushing through pain. It's not about enduring at all costs. It's about understanding your body, listening to its signals, and helping it work smarter, not harder. Your heart is an evolutionary masterpiece, not fragile, but built to adapt seamlessly to both times of abundance and scarcity. From ancient ancestors hunting in winter to you skipping breakfast before a meeting, your heart has always known how to survive. But more than survive, it learns to thrive. Fasting, when done correctly and safely, doesn't weaken your heart. It gives it the opportunity to optimize its fuel use, burn fat more efficiently, switch to cleaner ketones, and trigger powerful repair processes, what scientists call cellular restoration. The beautiful truth is this: while you may think you're depriving your body, your heart is quietly upgrading. It doesn't panic. It doesn't complain. It simply keeps beating strong, stable, and resilient like it has since the day you were born. Sometimes, in moments of lack, less food, less sugar, fewer bad habits, your body recalibrates, restores balance, and becomes sharper and clearer than before. Fasting isn't punishment. It's an act of love for the one organ that's never asked for a break, but has kept you alive every moment of your life.